Now, rumor has it that this game was banned in Saudi Arabia because it has an unskippable scene with a display of homosexuality in it. And it turns out that the rumor is false. I initially believed it, but the developer of the game came out and said that the rumor is false. And I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? I believed it because it was reported in a couple of media outlets and it was trending on Twitter. But like the moment someone showed me, V, you are a victim of misinformation. I go, ooh, I'm a victim? Yes. Well, I need to make a correction then. And then this is why I made the video to correct the misinformation. There is no such scene of unskippable homosexuality. It's still a really good game to troll people. Like I managed to troll a lot of Americans with it. You basically put a message saying, oh, it's got homosexuality in it. Well, I won't buy it. And people absolutely become fuming. It's like, what do you mean you won't buy it? You have to buy it. But why though? To prove that you're not homophobic. So like, okay, so I need to go through life by working hard, toiling the fields, and from the little money I have, I need to donate to multi-million-dollar corporation to prove that I'm not homophobic? Yes. I see. This is woke capitalism, right? Instead of donating money to church, you donate money to the corporations. But all jokes aside, though, the actual developer came out in order to talk about a couple of things because this game is actually very important from a cultural standpoint. You see, back in the day, when every journalist was saying diversity is good for business and it's important, the developer of this game said no. This is a historical game, and we're going to try and maintain authenticity. Like, this game takes place in Germany in a medieval time period. There is no diversity in Germany in a medieval time period. And so a lot of people went upset based on this decision, and there were like some journalists that got absolutely BTFO in the comments because they were trying to explain history to this guy's historical team. And it's like, no, we know the history of the nation. You're absolutely flat out wrong. And so they didn't have diversity. And this game, which is a sequel, allegations came that, it has LGBT themes in it. It's got a black person in it. And that the game is woke. And so there was like a lot of pushback against it. And these are, this was like the image that was being promoted with a black person that says, overall, it's safer in our country. Nobody will wayland on your journey. And we treat women with greater respect and set great store by learning, right? So basically, I think like this is a Muslim character, right? Which is basically saying that women are treated better in his country. I personally don't take an issue with it because this is what Muslims claim in real life. Like, believe it or not, this is part of Islam's propaganda where they actually unironically claim that women in their culture is treated better. And so, like, if you see a Muslim character in a video game, like, of course, you know, he's going to parrot Muslim beliefs. At least that's how I see it from the picture. I don't know the story of the game. I don't know the whole thing. The developer is basically suggesting that this is a one-off character that's hired as a physician in the court of a noble person, and he's like basically brought from afar, and this is why you have like a black character in the game. He talks about the homosexual scene that is available in the game as something that's optional. Like, if you as a character want to have a gay romance, you have the ability, but it's based on your role-playing. And there were homosexuality scenes in the first game as well. Like in the first installment, I think like the villain was a homosexual. And so to answer the question if it's woke or not, well, woke is about intent, right? So does the developer intend to hit that checklist? Like, was he given a list from a corporation where he's got to, you know, make sure that, okay, we got a black character, we got a homosexual character, right? Like, or is he intending to educate people? It's like, I'm going to have a gay character to educate people while being gay is okay in 2025. And, you know, like, I personally don't know what's in his head. He claims that this is not the case. But what I can make an argument is if the game will sell or not. And based on what I've seen so far, and I'm going to make this statement more so that you guys can save it, wait for the game to release, and then beat me over the head with it. I think the game will sell just fine. I think it will make more money than its initial investment. And so, even if you disagree with me, I want you to save this, wait for the game to be released, and then I want you to show me if I was wrong. Because I don't want to be accused of constantly jumping on bandwagons and being a grifter and, parroting the opinions that people want to hear. No, I want to make accurate predictions, right? So, I think, from what I've seen, that this game is less woke than Baldur's Gate 3. Like, even if we were to admit that these characters are in the game with the intent of educating the audience, with the intent of hitting a checklist, okay? Even with that, the game would be less woke than Baldur's Gate 3, and Baldur's Gate 3 sold very well. This is a type of title that has an original fan base. It does seem from the gameplay that I experienced to maintain the same spirit and vibe as the first game. And so I think people will buy it. Regardless of what I would say, even if I would say, oh, don't buy the game, it's woke, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it would influence anything. I genuinely think that this game is actually going to do pretty well. I see a lot of people being upset with this take. I don't understand why, though. I'm here to make predictions. I'm not here to set my own opinion. As for my personal take, because a lot of people will have, but what do you think, V? What do you think? Right? You can't just make a objective analysis. It's important to say what you think. I mean, I guess this is going to upset people again. It doesn't really bother me. Gay relationships existed since Mass Effect 2. It depends if they're done well or not. I prefer them to be entirely skippable. Right? If you're a person that doesn't want to see two men kissing on the screen as part of their entertainment, you shouldn't force people to see it. And so, if it's entirely skippable, like in Dragon Age or Mass Effect 2, I have no problem with them. Having one black character that's an NPC and he's integrated into the world and there's a justification on why that person is there, again, absolutely no problem with it. And so, I wouldn't say that the game is woke. I noticed that it's becoming the one-drop rule now. Where even a single imagery is enough to freak people out. And honestly, I don't blame them. I remember when the social justice activists took charge, you would see a single flag in a game that remotely looked like a Pepe, and they would freak out and demand that the flag is removed. Mortal Kombat removed the OK sign, right? A single image that was even remotely similar to something they would consider outright was enough to purge the entire game. And so, when the pendulum swings back, I'm not surprised that we're witnessing the exact same thing that was happening then. I think it was ridiculous then, and so I can't support it now. Of course, people should buy whatever game they want for whatever reason. You should not support anything that goes against your values. I don't think you should shame other people who buy a game that goes against your values, because at the end of the day, you're going to buy something that goes against theirs. And you're just fostering division, because you're not going to convince anyone to not buy a game they like. And you probably won't like other moral busybodies to come in and tell you to not buy the games they don't like. And I said, it's not constructive. It's just raging at people on the internet. What are you accomplishing, right? You're just getting angry. For what? You shouldn't be angry. Be chill. So yeah, if someone wants to buy the game, fine. If someone else doesn't, it's also okay. But I disagree with the one-drop rule, right? If a game says one nice thing about America, does that make it a patriotic game? I don't think so. You have a Call of Duty game, and after within 32 hours of gameplay, there's one American flag. Would you say, oh yeah, this game promotes American excellence? And it's, no, come on. You would require a lot more than just one NPC character. Now, again, the game isn't out, so maybe we will discover more and then I will change my mind. But from what I have seen so far, based on the trailer, based on the picture, based on the evidence provided to me, I'm not convinced that this game is woke. Comparing this game with something like Forspoken, comparing this game with something like Concord or Star Wars Outlaws, those are woke games. By comparison, this is nothing. Even by comparison with Baldur's Gate 3, as I mentioned before, this one is come on. Even the remake of Dead Space, okay? The remake of Dead Space, that was woke. because they remade a lot of paraphernalia in the game. They remade the bathrooms. They aged up one of the characters. They desexualized. Right? Like they did a lot more basically. But simply seeing like a couple of token wokeisms here and there, like it's not enough for me. It's just one drop in the ocean. Again, that's my thought. But regarding if the game will sell or not, I think the game will sell. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.